I'm Praveen Gautam. This is a program all about exploring digital trends, strategies to help your business build a brand and monetize it today. Today, I'm very lucky to have my good friend and a dynamic entrepreneur who is also happened to be a healthcare professional, Peter Flynn. He has been awarded a Telstra Business Award and 40 Under 40 Entrepreneurs Award in 2019. It's great. We'll just go to him to invite him. Now, before we have him on the show, also, I want to thank you guys who have been watching this right now from different social medias, including Facebook, LinkedIn, and a number of the channels. Thank you so much for your amazing feedback on our past episodes, especially the episodes which we did with my good friend Gary Edwards. That was senseless, and so many emails, so many feedback. So again, we talked about how to position as a trusted supplier, or if you like, a trusted advisor in your market. So if you're watching this right now, feel free to give us a thumbs up, share, or comments, and share with the wider community. And I am sure this might be helpful for them. Now let's have a quick welcome to Peter. Good day, Peter. Well, great to have you, mate, today.
It is great to be here, mate. Thank you very much for inviting me on. I'm excited.
That's great. Great to have you, mate. And I remember we met a couple of months ago through Professional Speakers Australia platforms, and I think that was the time you were doing this new program to helping healthcare workers, frontline healthcare workers. So would that be okay, mate, if you just tell a little bit about those viewers who are watching this right now? Obviously, that was amazing things what you did. So what was all about, mate?
So frontline healthcare was best way to explain. I'll give you the shortest version that I can, so we don't drag this on too long. But the frontline healthcare initiative was started when COVID first hit, and it was before JobKeeper, it was before all of that. And I remember looking at our health businesses and just feeling despair, just feeling like there was so much out of our control. There were so many things that we just couldn't influence at that time. People were canceling. We had 80% of people cancel their appointments. We had all these team members, and what were we going to have to do? Like, were we going to have to be letting people go, standing people down? There was so much uncertainty. And I just remember sitting at home and feeling shit, just feeling really shit, and going, well, what can I do? What's in my power? I want to control the controllables. And there was so much out of my control there that we wanted to create something that could give back in a meaningful way and help people. Because that's why we got into healthcare, right? Is to give back, to help other people. And that in turn, selfishly, right? That'll make us feel good. So came up with this idea of the Frontline Healthcare Initiative, which was initially just my business, PhysioFit. We were just going to offer free online physiotherapy, podiatry, etc. consultations via telehealth to doctors and nurses throughout the COVID pandemic. And it quickly, within about a week or two, turned into this massive thing with about 50 or 60 therapists across Australia that wanted to be involved, had put their hand up. By this stage, it had gotten way too large for what we currently had the capacity to do. So we approached some of our suppliers, some of our the software developers and owners, and said, hey, look, this is what we're doing. We're looking at bringing together a bunch of health professionals who are going to help doctors and nurses on the front line through COVID by providing them free online consultations. And a lot of this would just help with their mental state. We had physio, psychology, osteopathy, podiatry, and just really helping them through that time, because that would give us some control back. At the end of the week, if everything was going to shit in our own businesses, but we were genuinely able to make a difference in someone's life, and that was helping them on the front line, then that would give us a feeling of control and the real feeling of satisfaction in helping someone. So that's where that all came from. That's where the initiative came from, and we did that for 3 months through the COVID period.
Wow. Very inspiring, mate. I'm sure you must be very proud, and your team must be very proud. Obviously, that's where the healthcare workers, the primary purpose is to serve, and the time, obviously, there's the situation in COVID. I mean, what a great example. Well done, mate. So I think that was the time when we met a couple of months ago, and it was Wow, very inspiring. And obviously, since you have been helping, we have been chatting a lot about on technologies and a lot of other things. Now that's great. Now on that, obviously, just on the segue, so you were helping pretty much on a tele consultation, isn't it? So where would you see the allied health, especially healthcare as a whole, to move towards a teleconsultation? What's your thought on that, man? Are we ready yet?
Yeah, it's been challenging. I think we as healthcare professionals are ready. I think we are ready to do it, and we know the research shows that 90% of what we do can be done. It can be done by telehealth like this. As long as we got a good setup, there's a decent internet, and it's not just ridiculous, then we can have that consultation and we can get amazing results with people. Good audio, good video. As long as you're on the NBN and not stuck on broadband like one of our clinics was, then you can absolutely deliver an amazing experience. You can get people to their goals. And from there, you build that telehealth or that online consultation part of your business. However, I do believe that patients are not ready for this. Patients don't know what telehealth is. It sounds like a telemarketer, right? They just don't know what it is. They're not ready. And it's been drummed into them for so long now that you've got to go see a physio or an osteo, and they've got to touch you. They've got to do lots to you. And that's on us. We've perpetuated that. The research does not back that up. We know that the research doesn't back that up. We know the research backs up the intangibles. It's the communication. It's building rapport with someone. It's being able to do a great subjective history and really understand the person in front of you. But that's not what we've marketed very well, I don't believe, in the allied health field. And so when we said, hey, look, we can do digital, it's awesome. We can do telehealth, it's bloody fantastic. It's awesome. You've got the same results, right? The problem is that this was a swing the whole other way from where we'd been previously. And so patients are going, but you've told me I need to come in and you've got to do stuff to me with your hands, and now you're telling me you don't. Which one is it? Right? And so I think that's where the disconnect has been as we tried to move to telehealth, was patients weren't ready yet because that's not what we've perpetuated. That's not what we've taught them. And so I think the gap between these two is education. And the more that we educate people about that and that we take them on that journey, the more people we can serve and help through telehealth.
Absolutely. So true, mate. So true. And that's where you are the master on teaching the people, teaching the patients how important it is. And as you're right, because obviously there is a bit of gap. So and they still say which way. And as confused mind or confused patients, they don't book their appointments. Simple as that. So it is important to educate them. Yeah. The process, and that's not just on allied health, but we can see in the whole other spectrum, including medical and dental side as well, because patients were not that comfortable, and I totally get that. Now, yes, there is a teleconsultations or telehealth, which everyone is, and it's a sort of an infancy state. But where would you see, as a thought leader, would you see the digital transformations would expect in healthcare industry besides teleconsultation? Is there anything new coming out, or where do you see as an industry expert, mate?
That's a good question. I like it. I lean towards, to start with, I think there's a education. I'm going to pull it back to education because I think that's where everything is going to come to. In what we do, we are educators. We teach people about themselves. We don't fix people. Health professionals don't fix people. We educate them, we guide them, and they fix themselves. And I think that's the reframe that I want to put through everyone's mind for health, especially practitioners and their patients. So for me, it's looking at what's this digital transformation going to do for education of patients. Now, I'm seeing more and more people take to Facebook and Instagram and even TikTok, which is bloody awesome, right? Because there's some great TikToks out there that are educating people about their body, their resilience, their health. Because for too long, we've had this perpetuated myth of you're broken and your back's out of alignment and all this other junk, right? And we know it's not true. We know the research does not support this. So we need to be educating people on what the research does support, so what actually works, what's actually going to get people better, right? And the opportunity for this is to get on camera. And as health professionals, we might not like, you might go, I don't look, I don't like how I look on camera. I don't like how I sound. All these things you're not going to like about yourself. But it's not about us as a health professional. It's about the people that we serve. And the people that we serve, if we can genuinely change their life and educate them through digital media, and I mean, do videos once or twice a day. Start to build rapport and a relationship. You'll have patients come in who say, I feel like I know you. I've never met you, but I feel like I know you, right? And there's so many people, and give away your best information. Like Gary Vee says, give away your best information, your best programs, your best exercises, because you will help so many people. And what's going to happen is some of those people are going to have to go to a physio, an osteo, a chiro. And who are they going to pick? Are they going to pick the random person down the street that they've never met before, that's never helped them? Or are they going to pick the person who constantly gives them free value, who educates them and helps them, right? And even if they don't come in, we've still helped that person, and that's a good feeling. So for me, the big change that I'd like to see, and the way I see us moving forwards, right, is that we're moving towards digital education, and that scales our influence. It scales it. We can put a video on Facebook and reach thousands of people. So I think that's exciting.
Absolutely, man. And that's where I love about, your passion on a digital side, a passion on serving the patients, and not just we have to stock up on a one suburb or one city. Really, when you are here with open hands, really you are here to serve, for different communities, different states, different cities, and obviously different countries. And that's what the world we are living in. So what a great point, Mike. So education, what you're saying is education is number one key things. And I see day in, day out as well. Obviously the fear is, there is a fear factor, as you and me, obviously, when we started the first time doing the videos, we would be fearful, and still now a bit of, so, how can you really come out with that and really, showcasing, adding value? So when you think, you're adding value, there won't be a sort of fear factor as such, because anyway, you are touching so many lives.
I think firstly, like, it's okay. It's okay to be a bit fearful, because we do. It doesn't matter who you are. You're always going to think about who's on the other end of that camera, right? When you talk to an audience, usually you're thinking about there's one person in that audience, and you picture them in your head, and you're like, that's the person that I'm scared of seeing, right? Or I'm scared of hearing this. If I'm talking about finance per se, and I'm talking to a bunch of third graders, I'm probably feeling pretty confident. I can talk to them about saving and maybe a little bit of investing. And I'm going to be the smartest person on that topic in that room. If I'm talking to Ray Dalio and Warren Buffett about it, I'm probably going to feel pretty average. So it's who you put in your head as who's on the other end of that, I think, plays a big role in how we're going to feel. And the other thing is, we like to think of the worst case scenario. When you're going to do a presentation or a talk, or you're going to go online, worst case scenario, you straight away go, what are they going to think? What if I screw up? What if this happens? What if that happens? What if all this stuff happens? What if I say the wrong thing? Right. So a bit of it, I believe, right, is changing that to, that's the worst case scenario. Well, what's the best case scenario? Right. And start to understand, well, what actually are the opportunities, the possibilities, the people we help, the doors it opens. Right. And the price and one of my mentors, Vin, says this: the price you have to pay to be good on camera is to be shit on camera first, right? So the price you have to pay is to just do it. You've just got to do it over and over again. And one thing that I did early on was every morning I would pull out my camera and I would talk to my camera, and I'd talk about what I'm doing that day, what I'm going to eat for breakfast, what I was going to train at the gym, and what the weather was going to be like. And then I would watch it back, and I'd go, you look like a bit of an awkward potato there. What are you doing? Or, I like that. What am I doing there that I like? How am I talking? Where am I looking? Does it look natural? Does it feel natural? And I would take all these notes each day. And I did this for about 1.5 years. And I went from hating seeing myself on camera to less hating seeing myself on camera. So I think the practicality of getting used to talking to a camera it's incredible.
No, totally, mate. Totally. We all learn and we all inspire for each other. That's for sure. Now, that's a great site. And I can see a number of the viewers from different platforms right now. Guys and girls, if you're watching this, feel free to follow us on YouTube. just at the Digital Perspective, we are live, and YouTube as well. Just hit the subscribe button. So every Thursday when we bring to the new episodes, yeah, definitely you will be the first one to notify. So thank you again, Peter. Now I'm conscious with the time. Now, what obviously one is educations. That's what you're saying. What are the other top 3 tips or 2 tips more for the viewers who are watching this right now? What are the tips for as a business coach, as well as someone who is, you are walk the talk. You're not just having a number of clinics in South Australia and others, but you're really, helping communities as well. You are a leading example. So what would you, if anyone is watching this right now as a healthcare professionals, whether that may be allied health, that might be medical, that might be dental, what do you suggest they can do right now?
Right now, digitally, I would suggest, like I said before, education through videos, scaling your presence online. Look at your website. That's the next digital thing I think is super important. Look at your website. Is your website written for yourself and people within your profession, or is it written for clients and patients? Make that distinction. All right. Don't use words they can't, like, your website should be super simple. Stop talking. And the hardest thing, don't talk about yourself. Don't say, we're great at this. This is what we're super good at. Talk about the benefits that the person's going to have when they come in. You will feel this way. You will achieve this. You will hit this, right? Make your website all about that person. So when they get on it, it feels like such a personal experience. That is an opportunity for pretty much every business I know. And it's a process we've been through recently. And it was hard to stop talking about ourselves on our website and start talking about the person in front of us. That's a really, really big thing. And then the other thing is looking at scaling your time and being able to use things like automations. So automate your emails. When someone signs up to come to your clinic as a healthcare professional, rather than just getting an email sent to them, can they get an email sent to them with a welcome video from the practitioner they're going to meet? Because it can be quite scary coming to say healthcare practitioner. As healthcare practitioners, we don't feel that because we got this curse of knowledge, right? But if someone comes to see us and they get a nice little video, and I'd be like, hey, look, my name's Peter, and I'm going to be your physiotherapist. On your first session, I'd like you to bring X, Y, Z. We're going to get a clear diagnosis for you. We're going to do a bit of treatment. We're going to start to get you out of pain. And then we're going to create a clear plan to achieve your goals, right? How different is that experience to just an email that comes through? So what are those little digital things that we can be doing step by step along the journey that are going to really improve that client experience?
Now, what a goal, mate. Totally. It's all about that client focus or client experience, isn't it? And what you just said is education is a key, but at the same time, we see day in, day out, they all talk about, especially in medical, the very jargons, and they use all the medical terms. So instead of that, even I was telling one of our clients, talk about, your world, or their world rather than your world. So talk about their world and the world, and obviously your world. So understanding where the patients are from is very critical, and understanding, making them very easy to understand is a key. Otherwise, you would be talking about all the jargons, and the patients right there, or do this, but they don't get it. But second point, you also mentioned, and I'm a great believer, I totally believe on that, not only innovating new products, new things, but really automating, because as you know, we are very busy, especially medical professionals are so busy, healthcare professionals are so busy, they have no time. And as you just said, some even the videos or would be so fascinating just before, or before you go to practice. There's welcome videos. When you go to practice, there's another, and feedback video, sort of the whole experience. Again, we are talking here, isn't it, Peter?
It is. It really is. It's that personal touch point that we want to make them feel comfortable to be coming to see us, and that we're the right person to help guide them to achieve their goals.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Peter. Wow. Thank you. It has been amazing insight. I hope the viewers get a lot of things. We'll definitely have you again back, mate. You inspired so many of us, for sure. There is no doubt on it, mate. Is there any other final things you want to share it before we wrap up this live show?
No, I think that's the main thing. Is we've got an opportunity now with COVID to really reassess how we do things and how we want to move into the future. And where we can implement that digital aspect to our business to automate, to improve what we do, but at the same time to educate and better serve our communities. I think there's a huge opportunity if we can see it.
Thank you so much for your insights, Peter.
Thank you for having me.
I hope really the viewers enjoyed. Thank you, mate. Yeah. All right. I hope you enjoyed it. So like Peter today, if you really like what he said and you want to find out more about the digital perspectives in your business, I would love to hear from you. Yeah, just find my email is, you can just email me just here, praveen@vizhnetwork.com.au. Love to hear also about the episodes. We have a lineup speakers and subject matter experts in the next episode. So yeah, thanks again. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.